Joy, hello. We cannot hear you, unfortunately. I think it's for everyone. There's something wrong with the sound.
I thought it was the music, but it's not. It's all warbled.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Now it's good. Cool.
Hey, sister goddesses. We no. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Oh my goodness, I wonder what's going on. But you know, Mercury retrograde does How's this? Is this any better? Is this any better? I don't believe this. Okay, Robyn, can you say something? Can someone say something so I
can hear you.
Now it's better.
Much better, Joy.
Okay, well, Dr. Robyn Benson, let's get you into the spotlight with me so we can actually start in a way that I hope we can all hear each other. Here we are. Robyn, introduce yourself. Tell me where you are for now.
Hello, beautiful goddesses. It is so great to be with you all on this Christmas day. Wow, so sweet. I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where I've been here for about 30 some years. And I have a center that I built 20 years ago called Santa Fe Soul Center for Regenerative Medicine. And it's been such a growth journey. And wow, just to think about how this beautiful place has been a haven for massive amounts of transformation, life, death, rebirth, you name it. Everything has happened within this 4,000 square foot building. And anyway, it's such a joy to be with you all on this beautiful day.
I'm psyched to have you here. And goddesses, when you hear this very humble goddess who's a doctor of regenerative medicine, amongst many other things, say, you know, she's got this center in Santa Fe. It's a gem. I mean, it's a fixed point on my itinerary, at least once a year, to get my ass over to Santa Fe and to get all the beautiful treatments that you offer in Santa Fe Soul. So Robyn has built a center really from a dream, a heart's desire. You actually have your vision board hanging in Santa Fe Soul. So there's wonderful clinic where there are lots of different rooms. Imagine you come in through this doorway and then there's an entrance area where there are wall murals that were made by who?
Jim Leisure.
And it's all about actually rebirth, isn't it? That stepping into the light that we are. That's why I feel so happy to have you here on the Festival of Lights, which is actually a festival that is celebrated in many different cultures. So we have it in Hinduism, where it's Diwali, and there we usually celebrate 5 days. And then we have it in the Jewish culture too. There we have Hanukkah, where they celebrate 9 days. And then we have in Christianity, we have Advent, and that's kind of 24 days. And then we have winter solstice, right? Where we celebrate the ending of the darkest time of the year, and that time where the light comes in. And I just get goosebumps every time I see the pictures and the live streams from Stonehenge. So I'm really curious right now, who of you goddesses also get some kind of remembrance, some kind of, I don't know, tingling in the body, some kind of, oh, I know that, when you see these gatherings of beings coming together to celebrate that the light is coming in, that the light defeats the darkness. Anyone else here? Is anyone else? Oh, good, right? So, Robyn, you're more than just a doctor, because you're actually also a witch. And for me, you're this yes, because I mean, this lady, she will give you an O shot. Now, an O shot is, yes, it's a needle in your most private parts. And why would we do that? Because the injection, and I'm not a doctor, right? I'm not a medical doctor. This injection is containing, let me see if I can get it right, stuff that will promote regeneration and the activation of stem cells in the body, right? So tell us more about this O shot, and why would we, I'm going right for it, right? Why would we do that to our pussies?
Oh my gosh, for every reason you can imagine. Just like normal aging happens in the body, I mean, this is a part of our body. As our sister Regina Thomas Hauer, who wrote the book Pussy, calls it the great pussy in the sky. That's our GPS. It's such a powerful, potent vortex of our Shakti, our life expression. And we want to keep that vital throughout our entire life. So this O shot, the orgasmic shot, is a form of platelet-rich plasma, PRP. Many of you probably have heard that. What's so great about this regenerative
plasma, wait a minute for everyone. It's called platelet-rich plasma, and that's in the shot. Okay, please continue.
Okay, well, what's important to know is that what we do for all these injections that I do is we take your own blood. So regenerative medicine is harnessing the power of your own biology. And I take about 50 cc's of your blood, then we spin it down into what we call a golden elixir, which is rich in platelets, your own platelets, which helps to grow new blood vessels, which helps, like a lot of women have lichen sclerosis and autoimmune conditions down there, or incontinence, or they just don't feel pleasure in the ways that they want. So when I inject this golden elixir into your yoni, into 5 different areas, and let me tell you, 90% of people don't feel much of anything, maybe a little bit of pressure, but it just activates what's been dormant. And for many of us, we have a story, erroneous stories through our relationship history, through our own birth story, traumas, right? The collective trauma of the yoni. And this is, I feel like the great mother put me on the planet to do this work, to offer it for women to say yes to a second chance, a new beginning. And for women that are already feeling fertile and feeling very sexual, and they want to just keep that light turned on. And it's just an amazing miracle what can happen with your own biology.
It is. So I'll
Yes.
I'll give you my story here. So when I met Robyn, we'd actually met on an ayahuasca journey. No, we met before that at a charity thing for Just Like My Child, a foundation gala dinner, right? I remember Lisa Sasevich introduced us to each other. And she just said, oh, Joy, you've got to meet Robyn. She's also a healer like you. And then she kind of left us, right? And then the next, I don't know, week, 2 weeks ago, not a long time later, we then did an ayahuasca journey together in Santa Fe in a yurt with a bunch of other people. And then we've had many epic journeys and experiences with each other. But when you came to me and you said, Joy, you need to get an O shot. And I was like, why would I do that? That sounds like a terrible idea. I have no problems down there. Why would I do that, right? I'm not incontinent. I mean, it's all good. Why would I do that? And then as a sister, you gave me the benefits and I'd like, I trust you. And yeah, I mean, if that's what you're doing, I mean, it's part of the many things that you're doing and you say this is amazing, of course I'm going to do it, right? So I'm lying there, right? And obviously you're lying there in a very sort of vulnerable position. But the beauty of you doing it in your clinic and everything is it's such a safe, beautiful setting. The lights are dim, the walls are beautiful. I think it was a yellow color that I was in. And then you have your assistant, Tom, who's also such a sweet darling. And there's a sacredness about the work that you do, right? It's not just, right, I'm at the doctor, so lie down, wham, there, here, where we go. And then you channeled you for me, right? You started singing and chanting, and it was the most magical experience ever. And I can just tell you, ladies, after that, what was great got even better. Okay. So I want to also talk about something. And yes, I want to use the Festival of Light for this topic. So if this topic triggers you, just take a couple of breaths and write down why it's triggering you, because then you can use this conversation for your own healing. Because talking about our sexuality, our most private organ, our yoni, whatever you want to call it, our pussy, can trigger. And I think right now we're also, and this is a question to you, Robyn, we seem to be living in a society that is very trigger easy. People seem to get very triggered by very little things. So I know it's a little courageous doing this on Christmas Day, but I think it's so important for our healing. So when you gave me my O shot and we did this whole goddess thing of, right, this meaning something, so there was a very conscious act on it. Afterwards, I experienced just a heightening of pleasure. My ability to have orgasms multiplied. So I'll give you that too. That's a pretty cool thing to have, right? To know that you can just keep building and building and building. Why? Not so much, at least for me, it's not so much about the sexual satisfaction, but the beauty of us women being women is that we can create states of bliss and orgasm within our own bodies on our own. And when we do that, we are using our own energy to create. And that's why I want to put this right out here as tip number 101, or maybe rule 101, or commitment 101, or promise that you could make to yourself, is that you have more orgasmic moments in your life. What about that for a goal for 2024? And how about choosing to have orgasmic moments throughout the day? No, and I'm not suggesting that you've got to spend, I don't know, hours in your room masturbating. No, you can. But what I mean is that these orgasmic moments come throughout the day, don't they, Robyn? I mean, I sometimes have an orgasmic when I'm walking my dogs and I'm like, oh my God, this is all just so beautiful. How about you?
Absolutely. I mean, every moment is an opportunity to amplify, to regenerate, and transform. And so much of what gets in the way of orgasm is just resistance, just the stories we've been telling ourselves about ourselves for years, like 2024 and right here, right now, like to reclaim what we have collectively denied, the feminine, right? This is a time for all of us to say yes to our embodiment, to our true connection. You know what, Joy, I can't help it, but I just want to share with all you ladies, like whenever I do one of these shots, I always invite a woman to share a song, one of their most sacred songs, you know, so it's been gospel music, this the spectrum, right? And then when they say, Robyn, do you have like whatever you think, I almost always will play the Craig Pruitt song, 108 Names of the Mother, right? That's just so beautiful. But what happened with Joy,
write that down. The girls will want to write that down. Craig Pruitt.
108, yeah, Names of the Mother by Greg Pruitt. But what happened with Joy was just since we've known each other for many, many lives, and this has been a great time in this one together. But a song came through me, and a lot of languages come through this vessel, like a, but this particular one was like, Ontashina Maya Hoe Owe 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 Tuta Hata Shita Nara Tunta Hera Mai. And as I'm singing that, I'm singing it to our global sisterhood here, like to rise up, to allow, appreciate the awe of our embodiment. Like really, like this is the time to let go of anything, to literally create space for the orgasms to continue. And that's that electric spark, right? That when we might be dim in our lives for many, many reasons, but we get to turn that on. I mean, there's no greater resource that we have or asset that we have other than our vibration, other than what we are sharing, opening our cosmic heart. That's part of the one heart, the one breath. Our vibration is everything. And 2024 is wow, I just feel like there is no veil, but the energy is just so available to all of us equally. No one is left out. Yes. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I just couldn't help it. When my heart starts racing, I'm like, woo, this song just started coming through.
And when you sing that song, it gives me goosebumps every time I hear your voice singing that. It just reminds me of also this sense of a tribe and this sense of a tribe and sisterhood that we kind of have forgotten about. I had some really interesting conversations with young women just these last days when I was going out on Christmas parties and stuff. And I always chat with, I don't know, 20, 25-year-old women and men, of course, but the girls, I love checking in with them, you know, what's important to you and where you struggling and whatever. And they were all saying, you know, what we're missing is that feeling that we can really be real with other women, because it feels like it's almost dangerous. And so many of us women have experienced betrayal by other women. And it feels like that now is a time where we need to be aware of our own power and responsibility to make a new choice there. To, yes, know that there are, as there are men and women, there are snakes out there. And there are just women who are not yet at a level of vibration where authentic relating is possible at a level where you can trust the other. But what you can do regardless is you can trust that someone is who they are. But when you're given the opportunity to connect with women really from heart to heart, like we do here, there are no filters, there are no taboos. We have very clear agreements. Kind of a new energy is coming through that I feel feels very safe and protective. So a question to you, Robyn, how do you feel about betrayal amongst women, and how do you feel about this time now being different? What are your tips there?
On betrayal, oh gosh, it is, I mean, suffering, we've all suffered on so many levels, every single one of us. When we think about our heroine's journey, right, no matter what, we've had all these defining moments, you know, up and down and all around. But suffering ultimately, betrayal is a big piece of a suffering picture, is ultimately truly all of the pain body is to bring us back to source, to bring us back to the truth of who we are, that alignment of who we are. You know, we're going to keep repeating betrayal. We keep repeating the same patterns again and again until we wake up to what we're creating. You know,
well,
it's and when we're pointing fingers.
It's waking up to where we're betraying ourselves, isn't it?
Of course, ultimately, I mean, that's the mirror that's going on, right? We keep very often we betray ourselves by saying yes when we our true intuition, like, right, you share so much on how for all of us to tap into that deep knowing inside. And betrayal is a very painful thing until we get to wake up from what how it is serving us in allowing the light to return, right?
So when you are working with women, and you have a lot of women from all different areas and you know, with different health conditions, what is the number one thing or the pattern that you see of how disease is created and how the connection to that person's life is? What's the tip that you could give if you had something for all of us goddesses who want to stay healthy? What's the thing that, where do we go wrong? Where do we sometimes betray ourselves or make bad choices? Now, from as a perspective, out of your perspective as a health expert.
So there's many answers to that, but there are like kind of 7 areas, and I could just mention them really quickly. Right now, environmentally, we're all challenged. No matter where we live on the planet, I do a lot of toxic burden testing, and like we all have plastic in our body, we all have glyphosate, right? So we need to, when it comes to taking care of our vessels, I mean, that is the most important job you really have, is to take care of your body. So food, like how we're nourishing ourselves, for all of you here, like nourishing our body with what nature provides. We are bioidentical to the earth, right? So food choices, it's the accumulation of too much sugar that causes dis-ease. So I'm just talking about kind of on this plane, and then I'll get to more deeper internal. Geopathic stress is another huge factor in this 5G world. Like most of us are spending 90% of our lives indoors. The antidote to that, and to really create a harmony in your cellular organ being, is to reconnect to Mother Earth as much as possible. We are hormonal beings, and many of us really need the support now more than ever with bioidentical hormones. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but for most of us, that as we continue on after menopause, our testosterone, estrogen, progesterone decline. And this is something, bioidentical hormones are like nature, as close to nature as possible. And it gets that symphony going. I mean, so much in your body is dependent on hormones. I happen to be a doctor of Chinese medicine. There are so many other options, but even the healthiest of healthy people are challenged in this hormonal terrain. What else did I want to talk about? Toxins, I mentioned that. But honestly, like when I'm working with people with cancer and autoimmune disease, the emotional terrain is completely as important as looking at everything I just mentioned. So if you are still holding trauma in your body, that is causing degeneration. All of us in the regenerative medicine space, that's what we're here to do. We're help as many people turn degeneration into regeneration. So it's returning the light to the body. So there's nothing better than choosing good foods, and again, reconnecting to Mother Earth, working with peptides. If you're taking a lot of prescription drugs, that's a challenge. That's a challenge to your nature. So you want to return to nature as much as possible. Showing up for being in this energy of all of us. I don't know if you can feel it, but your oxytocin, that's another beautiful hormone. You know, that's our hugging hormone. That's just being in community is really important to return to love, to return to who we are again in truth. And also, it's our perception, like what happens between here and here, your thoughts. I mean, honestly, you know, the tapestry of life, reality is your canvas and you're the painter. How are you painting your reality, your day-to-day life, with your thoughts, your words, and your actions, right? It's everything. It's everything. But if your present is being informed by your past, until it just will be, until you have that awareness where you can see. And for all of us, like to feel right here, right now, to get that light. I love this bliss bubble that we're in, like that bliss. Like we're never separate from our bliss. We're never separate from joy. We can't wait for the outer world and all the political scenes that are happening, and we can't. That's never going to. That's like we can spend all the time in the world trying to control our outer environment, but what all we can really do is show up in love and show up in in our light.
Mhm.
That's my short, long answer to that question.
I could listen to you talk about this for hours. There's just so much knowledge pouring out of you. And we've got a couple of questions in the chat. How do you work with peptides?
Okay, peptides are sequences of proteins, and it's really awesome because it kind of mimics nature rather than you think about all that the world of pharmacology has to offer. So, something that you can find out about online, just Google it and learn about all the vast possibilities there are in peptides. There are ones that are really great for your immune system, like BP157. There's one for sexual rejuvenation called PT141. There's ones that are amazing for musculoskeletal issues. So I would find a functional medicine doctor in your area and just see who provides this form of nature to you. So
So
it's kind of
what
cool,
you do
but
is,
what's
sorry, so what you do with your patients is you test them first so you can see which peptides they're missing, or do you do due to
yeah,
their
and just
symptoms, you will prescribe certain peptides which they then take? How does it work?
exactly. It's also just sometimes just a general intake, the way someone is presenting, because not everybody has access to all the testing that would be really nice. And a lot of these are very, very safe. They're not toxic. So the thing that's really challenging in the world is that they're coming down on even our resources of getting peptides. It's so difficult. They're just taking
Mm,
them off the market, and so many compounding pharmacies that have provided peptides are no longer here. It's Anyway,
mm.
it's really, really sad to see this because it's something quite wonderful.
I bet. So what is something you have traveled the world and you have so much experience in so many different healing modalities. But what comes to mind to you that's something that everyone could do more of, apart from all the amazing things you've already said, something that's helped you amplify your state of health and joy? What's a tip you could give us, a habit maybe? Yeah. What do you do?
What comes to my mind right now, Joy, is more than anything is the return to my breath. Like when the world is getting busier, my mind is getting busier, I'm getting into some of my old programming about being a workaholic and trying to save everybody who walks in my doors. I take a breath and connect to source. And I had pictures in my office, one that says I'm 99% invisible. When I tap into the invisible world, the pantheon of support, the angels, all the guardians, all the masters, I'm like, oh yeah, getting over myself, my ego, like dissolving into the ocean of love. The more I have get over the identify, I'm a doctor, I'm a this, I'm a that. And I'm just like, I am just light. I am source energy moving through me. The other thing that I want to say is, healing is for free, majority of it. Like when you just tap into what I just said, that 99% invisible, when you get to get quiet, when you allow silence, because that inner roommate in our head goes until it doesn't have a place to land in you, until the source energy. Like when I write some mornings, I'm just like, whoa, that automatic writing experience, there's a book about it, automatic writing experience. Sometimes it's just like, whoa, like Robyn is gone and Kumara, that's my my source self that comes through. And it's wow. So like if I don't give that time, then my old programming is running my life. But just what I mentioned about nature, there's no better mirror in your life. Boy, we have tough ones, right? When it comes to relationships and our children and challenges that we have. But when you communicate with nature, like a tree, right? Like a oak tree is not trying to be a maple tree. It's just an oak tree. But that's one of my greatest teachers when I'm out in nature or I go back to my home and I go visit my old house and there's that maple tree in the back. It's still there and it's grown, but it's still there, right? Like that's connecting to source. We are all source energy, and that's that vibration. That is the light that we all are. It's just so yummy. Why not?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
free healing is for free. If it can cost the average person going through a cancer treatment in this country is about $300,000, right? And this is where you want to marry the physical medicine. But honestly, there's nothing more important than you saying you to rebirth, that you saying, okay, thank you for all the lessons, old story me. Thank you, thank you. And I'm here anew. I'm ready for a fresh start, a new beginning. And then every thought, every word, every action, that it is insidious, this internal narrator in our head sometimes, right? Until it's not. And it's like, oh my God, this is like freedom. This is all those spiritual texts we've all read, right? And we're like, yeah, right. This is just, I mean, do I have to be a freaking like live on a mountaintop? Is that the only way I can live the illuminated life? Absolutely not. I mean, it's that refresh button. And we're going to have biorhythm days that are really challenging. And we know from Bruce Lipton, right, that so much of what maybe we do have DNA predispositions, but are we turning them on or are we not? But most disease, absolutely, 32 years later, 100,000 plus people that have come through, it's helping them unravel the stories of self. Who are you? Yes. And it's amazing the dissolution that's necessary to literally melt those frozen parts of you to allow this illuminated you to live heaven on earth. It's inside us. It's not out there. It's all of us recognizing heaven on earth inside.
Yes, yes. Okay. What's the purpose or the goal of a female orgasm? Does it have a healing function? I'll let you go first.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely yes. I mean, we women are designed to have orgasms our entire life. And sometimes it's not always with like you talked about, it can be, self-pleasure. It could be with a partner. It could be like a kundalini awakening that you have just by being so orgasmically turned on by nature, right? But it is like the chemicals that happen with orgasms, these are our innate chemicals, right? We're talking about oxytocin, we're talking about dopamine, serotonin, like, right? These are our neurochemicals. And when we're down and depressed, our serotonin levels can be low. That get up and go, that dopamine can be really dialed down. If we don't have any testosterone in our body, orgasms are really important. Like, when somebody hasn't been in a relationship for a while and then you see this friend of yours and you're like, oh my God, like the light has returned, right? And it's maybe they're not taking hormones or they haven't changed their diet, but that they reignited something that had been shut down, that had been dormant for so long. So orgasm. So I'm really like a big yes on self pleasure, using a vibrator, doing your yoni activation exercises, your Kegels. I mean, it's amazing. Like, do it all right now. Let's like do
Yay, let's
a
give it a
group Kegel.
squeeze.
I mean, it's like a
Squeeze
ticklish
the peas.
feeling, but a wonderful storm, like I said, of moving, get the molecules, the atoms of your body, the light. It is so helpful for how how you're living each day to have that orgasmic energy moving freely in your body. And
Yeah.
it's not about the outer world showing up. It's not about that right partner showing up. It's really about you attract what you are, right? You attract your light, you attract it, it comes to you, all this abundance, all this manifestation, it's all inside you.
Yes. And not only is it physically healing and also a moment of release. So I see orgasm as a moment that is so everything in one thing, because it's release and surrender and bliss and expansion all in one thing, because it's like an explosion of energy. And it's a very high frequency, and it is able to create life if, two things come together in that moment and the cycles and the stars and everything is aligned. And it is per se, whether it is with a partner or not, a moment of creation. So that's what I was saying at the beginning. It's make it a promise to ourselves that not only will we have more orgasmic moments, but we will use those moments consciously to create that life and that lifestyle and that what we really are yearning for. And we do so consciously, because that, sisters, that is true power. And honestly, this is the first time that I'm talking about it online for many reasons. And I usually only share this kind of conversation in my retreats, as you do, Robyn, too. I mean, you do it one-on-one with your clients, right, and patients, and in small women's retreats, because that's where it feels safe. Because don't get me wrong, if you were to teach this to anybody who is not conscious of what they're doing and not a conscious creator, can you also do a lot of bad things with it? Of course, because an intention is an intention and energy is energy. And depending on what you do with it, you can use it in a manipulative, destructive way, or you can use it in a heart-centered, creative way. And I think that's what we're all about, right, Robyn?
Yes, I love the point that you made, that this orgasmic energy you're talking about, this ignition, this flame, from a spark to a flame, that this is the creator. We are all creators, right? And when this light is turned up, it affects every aspect of our lives. It really does, and it's our birthright. And there's so many treasures, right? There's a lot of what I have found, through this work with women and doing lots of these retreats, and the one that I'm doing coming up in Chile in February, that once this is awakened, it just, you can't shut it. How could you shut it down, right? That this is we're reclaiming something that's been part of us always. And we get to be surprised by ourselves when those dormant faculties are now the light has returned. It's like, what do I want to do with this vessel? Like, we're creators for the rest of our lives, right? I mean, I love that saying that we're a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously. But when we're unleashing and we're allowing this new regenerative blueprint, that divine blueprint that's always that we are aligning with it, right? Wow. I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Before I ask you more about your retreat in Chile that's coming up, we have a question in the chat. It says, to be honest, in the moment, I'm not in a relationship and I don't even live with a housemate. Or I live with a housemate on paper called husband, but I have for a long time had no sex life anymore. And I'm now 56 and 3 years in. So how do I transform? This is a woman from an older woman.
Okay.
Do older women still have a chance? Answer that one.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
do we
gosh.
need to be living with the most amazing partner to have that transformation?
No, absolutely not.
So does she have
sure? Absolutely. You certainly do. As I kind of tune into you, it's like, the answer inside you. You know that you can't wait. You're not waiting for anything to get that turned on inside you. I'm just going to recommend a book about Mary Magdalene. What's that book, Joy?
The Magdalene Manuscript.
I highly recommend that book because it's an alchemical experience. This is my own experience too. I remember in 2006 when that book came across my path that I'm like, I grew up Catholic and I grew up very innocent in my Catholic in terms of my sexuality and beliefs around that, right? And that book just opened a portal in my body that changed my life forever. And I already did mention the book Pussy, but that was another book that I highly recommend. So these are books. This is also like, want to say to you, like, connect with your women tribe, that around you, that to start to touch yourself, get to know yourself, like have a new yoni story. We get to, because of these injections that I do, like we have 9 different anatomy types. There's another great book that's coming through called Kwadoshka. right? And we have these 9 different anatomy types, women. Like, it's so cool. And yet a lot of women are choosing to get cut, right? And like they don't want to look the way they do. But it's really amazing when, like, we are lotus blossoming all the time, unless our mind is getting in the way and shutting us down. So these are just some insights and some offerings that I think will be helpful to you. There's so many goddesses in the world right now. Layla Martin has a lot of great stuff online, teaching about sexuality and helping women, using a yoni egg. I don't know if you've heard of those. Those are really great too.
Yeah,
It's like,
yoni eggs, we've
or
talked
go
about
to your
those.
doctor
Those
and
are
say,
sort of
hey,
gemstone.
yes.
Sorry, they're gemstones. I'm just going to repeat what you said because it might have been a little fast for some. I've put some of the titles in the chat for you girls. We've got the Magdalene manuscript. It's written by, I think, Tom something, but you can look that up. If you look up Magdalene manuscript, you'll find that. Then we have the book Pussy by Regina Thomas Hauer. Kwadoshka, it's weirdly written, weirdly spelt. It's actually the Tantra of the Native American Indians, isn't it? Is that correct, Robyn?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's earth-based sexuality. And the word Pradoshka means the sacred union, the light, the energy that happens when one or more people come together. And that is what that word means. And that's where those 9 anatomy types came from. So I've learned a lot through that practice. And just being innocent, just saying, like, even like I took a class, I'm still learning, right? It's wonderful to expand your sexual orgasmic possibilities and to open up to just the discovery and being so loving and gentle and just like, I didn't know, like, so many women who've done my retreats there. I always bring my friend Dr. Glenn Wilcox, also a beloved friend of Joy's. I always bring him. I mean, like, women are blown wide open. Like, we just don't get the necessary education in our schools, right? I mean, a lot of times we just learn from our relationships. Maybe we read a little bit, but um, it's really nice to educate yourself, to really open yourself to learning what's possible in this arena, because it really does help your entire life to move that energy and to open to that spark.
I'm sensing a sense of fear and discomfort maybe that could come up when we're talking about this and the idea to expand into so much light because of all the conditioning that we receive this lifetime, past lifetime. We know, as you were saying, Bruce Lipton, in our DNA, we have all this programming. So can we do me a favor and start tapping underneath our collarbones? Because I feel that now is the time that we give ourselves permission to expand into so much light. Would you agree, Robyn?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's take 3 connected breaths with each other as we just tune into any kind of fear, any kind of limitation, sabotage story that we might have stored within our bodies or minds or hearts or wherever. And we just let it all go. And then we could close our eyes if we're in a safe space and we say, roll them up and we say, even if I don't know how, to now release, let go of any limiting conditioning, anything that can stop me from shining my light bright. All I do know is it is so now, and I am fulfilled. I delete, delete, delete all that could stop me. And I download, download, download everything I need to do so now with grace, ease, and joy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So it is, so it shall be, or something even better. Then one more breath. And then maybe, I don't know, tune into your heart, place a hand on your heart, or just tune into the area of your heart. And then with the other hand or mind, you go into the core of your yoni, pussy, whatever you would like to call that portal. And let's devote the next breath to these 2 powerful centers of energy and creation within us. And let's now just imagine connecting those two so that our pussy and our heart are always one. They're always aligned. They're always coming from love, creating with love. Let's bless ourselves as we give ourselves permission to shine our light bright now. Yes, that's who we are. That's our mission. That's what we came for, right? And now just notice all those bright lights around you, all the women in the circle, all the yonis connecting, all the hearts connecting, as we make that conscious choice to choose love, to create with love, to follow that light, to be the light. And then when it feels really good and yummy, bring a smile to your face and return into the here and now. And then tell me how that feels. Thank you, Nicole, for telling us the Magdalene manuscript is written by Tom Kenyon and Judy Sion. Right. And do keep the questions going. We have a couple more minutes. We always end with an intention, Robyn. So we've been having incredible results with our intention work. I told you about that on the phone the other day, right?
You did. Yes.
So you said so many beautiful things. I'm now just going to give us a little recap, and then we're going to craft the intention that we're going to intend on today. And we've got a message here saying, gives me peace, this exercise, and trust, and I feel safe. Yes, that's what we want. You're safe in this community, sisters. So Robyn was throwing into the vortex, and now please take notes because you want to make your conscious mind aware of the choices you're making now, and you're free to make all choices you would like. I'm just suggesting. I am reborn. This idea of today, now, we're giving ourselves that permission to be that reborn self. You said, I am here, and I'm here, my new self, I'm here. I am the light. I am 99% invisible. And then, as a little extra little game for your mind and your heart and your goddess self, what's your source self's name? So Sister Goddess Robyn's source self name is Kumara. You know yours too. Mine's Crystalline. What's yours? What if you knew? So if you don't have it yet, just go ahead and just close your eyes. You have that second. And then say inside of yourself, what if I knew what my source self's name was? What if I knew? What if I knew? What if I knew? And then take pen to paper and let it flow out of you. Automatic writing. You mentioned that too, Robyn. And while all the goddesses tune into their source self's name, tell me more about this retreat in Chile, and then we can go into intending. What are you going to do there, and when is it?
The retreat is February 10th through 18th. So this is in Chile. So many of you may know Alberto Villota, or you know Marcela Lobos, married couple.
The
They're
books.
beautiful, beautiful.
What are some of Alberto's famous books that Europeans might?
A Grow New Body. Yes, Grow New Body. And she wrote a book on a shamanism for women. I mean, just amazing beings. And they have this beautiful retreat center outside of Santiago. And so they invited me to do a sacred embodiment and self-mastery retreat for just a small group, an intimate group of women who are ready to say yes to life, on a whole new life. Like, no matter what's happened before, all right, wrong, good, bad, it's just like, we're just going to come together. It's a beautiful portal in the mountains of Chile where we're just going to have fun. It's going to be highly experiential. We're going to have great Grow New Body food. We're going to be able to go hiking. It's going to be a magical, magical time together. And I hope you'll join us. And you can find out more at destinationregenerate.com/sacred embodiment.
Maybe you can put the link in the chat. And are you going to be offering any treatments there?
Destination, I hope I spelled that right. And I have Alberto's video. There will be a lot of work, a lot of healing that will come through this vessel. That's the main thing that's going to happen. I can't get a PRP machine there, but a lot of the magic will happen for us because every single woman I just, as I tune in, it's just has her own magic that she's going to bring, and we're gonna be unrecognizable, like your souls, your, as you mentioned, your when we talk about our soul name, like merging with that, right? There's our ego self, thank God for that part, right? That's the hands and feet of our soul. But when you merge with that, where there's no separation, that's exciting. That's what's gets to happen here.
And I know when I've watched you do consultations, and you do it for me too, when you just tune into a being, you give lots of advice from take this, do that. And it's like you give a whole, you're a holistic doctor, right? You give the whole picture. So I'm sure that's going to be a really special experience for all those who can join there. So destination,
yeah, it's going to be really as much spiritual. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
The spiritual part, but also the practical, like really understanding, food as medicine, really understanding hormones, like all those hormones that I kind of briefly touched over, like how to take care of your body. Like we all get to say yes now more than ever.
Thank you. Okay. So for our intention then, for all of us, how do you see, I always say this quote of, your job is not to spread light on this planet. Your job is to be the light. So I would love to have an intention today that is also incorporating that idea of being the light. So help me here, Robyn, and goddesses, throw in your thoughts here too, please. When we craft our intention, we always have that we are happy, healthy, and well in all ways, on every level. That's always in there. But we like to focus on a specific intention before that. So Robyn, is something coming to you? Can you tune into your vessel? I am comfortable being 100% invisible, for I am the light. Something like that.
Yes, and to the intention to attune to the one breath, the one heart. Get to all attune
Is
to
to
who we are.
all attune to the one breath, one
The
heart.
one heart, the one light.
Oh, I like that. The one light. And to be happy and healthy and well in every way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so darling Nicole or Lily, let's type that in. I'll read it to us all again. To be happy, healthy. And we want to write it down, Robyn, because then our brain receives the message as well. Happy, healthy, and well in every way. Okay, so our intention is to immediately, completely, and permanently attune to the one breath, one heart, one light, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Ooh, I like that. Everyone else in agreement with that? Okay, I'll read it again. Our intention is to immediately, permanently, and completely attune to the one breath, one heart, one light, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Yes. And I'm going to throw in there that your retreat sells out with the exact right goddesses who need to be there. In Chile,
Yes.
that's for you in February. And for me, it's end of January. I'm doing my first retreat here in the Lichtwerk. So I'm still seeking 3 souls. I'm so curious who those are going to be. For a weekend to kickstart an amazing 2024, where it's also about aligning with our heart's desire for whatever it is that we're yearning to manifest in 2024. Okay. And how this works, Dr. Robyn, is that we just do this in silence. So you could be sitting, lying down, standing, whatever. And we imagine holding hands. And I'm going to take us out of the spotlight so we all see each other as good as we can. And then as we hold hands, we take 3 breaths. And then we send out this intention from our hearts, And then we hold that intention. We're going to do 5 minutes because my family is waiting for dinner. 5 minutes of this very powerful intention. Okay, Robyn, I love you. I'm going to take you out of the spotlight now. Thank you so much for blessing us today with your presence.
Thank you.
And goddesses, let's imagine we're holding hands on this very special day, the Festival of Light. And what we're doing now is going to affect those who watch the recording maybe weeks, months, years later. This retro intention works too. So in all timelines, we're going to blast the following intention with the next 3 connected conscious breaths. Just gently in and out. Dropping into our heart, from where we send out the intention. Our intention is to completely, immediately and permanently attune to the one heart, one breath, one light, and to be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Our intention is to completely, immediately, and permanently attune to the one breath, one heart, one light, and to be completely healthy and happy and well in every way. Our intention is to immediately, completely, and permanently attune to the one heart, one breath, one light, and be healthy and happy and well in every way. our intention is to immediately, permanently, and completely attune to the one breath, one heart, one light, and be happy, healthy, and well in every way. Come back into the here and now. And yeah, Robyn, how did that feel for you?
Oh my gosh, I felt tingling through every cell of my body. I feel like my whole body just went up a couple degrees being in this container with all of you. And oh, wow. Wow. And really connecting to that one breath, that one heart. It's so yummy. So good.
I agree. Well,
How about for you?
fantastique. I got these amazing images of flowers. First, it was a color, and then all these different sort of very sort of erotic flowers, and then they started all sort of unfolding and opening, and then it extended out, and then I had this vision of this gigantic bunch of flowers, and all the flowers were just blossoming. So I like to imagine those were our yonis giving ourselves permission to experience pleasure and create in an orgasmic, expansive, loving way. Okay. Well, my darlings, it's exactly 8 o'clock Central European time. My darling family is waiting to have Christmas dinner. And I would like to close thanking every single one of you for making time to be here today. We're seeing beautiful, colorful butterflies is what some of you were getting in this intending. Thank you for intending with us. We're going to be obviously sending this also out as a replay, and we'll put all the links to Dr. Robyn's work in there too. And I see you'd like to say something, Robyn. What would you like to say?
Just one last thing to
course.
all of you. As I'm looking at each and every one of you in your heart and just this space that we're in here together now, but this final thought to be new, to think new, open your heart to new things. Spirit has plans for you. Make some room.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Love you all.
Bye.
So fun. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody.